Okay, so I think I finally managed to do it. I hope. Let's just give it a second. And now I'm gonna mute the stream. That's very important, otherwise you get the echo. Okay, so everything seems to be working. Hi everyone. So yeah, it's Thursday. Blasphemy! I'm doing a video on Thursday. What's going on? No, but I actually thought about what to do with the Age of Reason show, and I realized that the best thing is probably to do a review thing. So it's going to be me reviewing some kind of article, or of course talking about memes. That's okay too. That's going to happen. That needs more work, but that's, I think, the only way I can actually make people watch the show, or watch the podcast, I should say. So today, before we start, I just want to promote my book over here, Beyond the Obscure. Get it, please. The links are in the description. You'll help me a lot. Recently, I also started working on Fiverr, and I'm providing voiceovers in English, Russian, and French. I just did my first gig, which I was really surprised because I just started it, and maybe a day later I got one offer already. So it's already completed successfully, and I look forward to more. I also do 3D art, and I use DAZ Studio for that. Now, I used to use Poser, but Poser, I don't know, I might be wrong, of course. I just didn't really follow it much. But in my opinion, Poser is not as good. I think it's good to train yourself to learn the basics, but DAZ Studio is far superior in terms of rendering and things like that. It uses the iRay rendering, which is pretty good, definitely. It's better than the Poser renderers. So yeah, if you need anything, do ask. And so today what we're gonna do, actually, I had a problem with the freezing video earlier. I hope it doesn't happen now. So I'm a filmmaker, of course, indie stuff, as indie as you can get, really. Low budget, no budget sometimes, very small crew, but usually what happens is that in that case the projects are more artistic. They get a bit better. So anyway, I made a couple of films. Some of them are in film festivals, and they win awards. This year has been a bit dry, but last year was pretty good. Not too bad. So what I found is this Wheel of Fortune kind of thing. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? All right, so don't mind the screenshot for now. Okay, there we go. So I put all my shorts into the wheel, and basically wherever it falls, we're gonna watch it, and I'm gonna talk about it. So let's see what the Wheel of Fortune shows today. And I can't click on it because it's the wrong window. I should probably click on the right window. Ooh, Human Stain. Okay, all right. Well, that's a music video. At least we'll get that out of the way, because the rest are actually short films. So this is the only music video in the list. So, okay, why don't we check it out? So, let me go over here. Human Stain. Let's load that in there. Okay. And for that, I'm gonna need the headphones. And unless it wants to ruin my ears, I'm gonna reduce the volume as well. So, okay. Music video, Human Stain. This is a song by Camelot. Man, I don't remember the precise year of that, but it's a while ago. The point of this project, just before we watch it, was to do well, two things really: a green screen thing and After Effects. So the green screen, I wish I had a picture. I think I don't. Um, I lived in one room before in Canada, and the room itself looked big at first, but once you start putting the bed there and a desk in the corner, then it gets smaller quickly. Yeah, 2009, we made the video, but the song, I think, is maybe 2007 then, or something like that. This was the old Camelot, before Roy Khan left the band. The room was pretty small. We had to put a green screen there, but the space where we could shoot was actually very, very limited. We had some guitar guys come in, and they had to really squeeze in because either their body goes out of frame or their camera goes over the edge, and then I can't do anything. So that was a big challenge already. And the other challenge, of course, is After Effects. I never really worked with After Effects before, but I wanted to do something. The point to doing these projects is to try something new every time. So I learned how to use After Effects layers quite well after this project. So let's go with it, and I'll control volume if it blasts too much. I think we have no audio, so probably because of this. So here I think we of course, I was using their video, the band's video as a reference, and I think it also starts in the cemetery, if I'm not wrong. Of course, theirs is much better made, but again, I was trying to experiment here. So what you see here, cheers for the volume check. What we're seeing here is basically layers of course, the background layer, but there are 2 rows of gravestones and then the statue. So these are all separate layers. And the layers themselves here, the statue and the gravestones, were made in Poser. So back then I was using Poser, which is, by the way, another test I was doing here, because I was trying to incorporate 3D elements into a real, real life situation. So here's pretty basic stuff. We have a forest scene. I did a pan. So for that you need a pretty big picture, so you can pan the picture. If it's small picture, you can't pan because you're just gonna go into basically out of frame, into black. So that's not good. And here we have can't remember his name, but he did the guitar here. I can't remember the girl's name either. If you look at it, of course, she's actually, the piano is set on 2 chairs, but I cut off the edge of both chairs, so it looks really kind of weird stuff. There's a face in the tree there behind, in case you missed it. And of course, the last guitar player is my friend James here. When I first edited this video, he looked at it and he said, "Wow, there's a face there." Yeah, I put it on purpose. It's just for fun. See the cemetery sky, the common red and deep. Watch the oceans rising high. It's a human state. Talk about the growing hunger. Ask why with deep concern. Don't you think the human race is less living? So yeah, that's me. If you didn't recognize me, about 10 years ago or something like that, more. No, about 10 years ago. And I was actually having a real hard time with this intro because the rest, as you'll see, is pretty animated. There's a lot of stuff going on, but here I had a hard time to come up with any kind of story, so I just reused the cemetery and the forest thing, and again here it's basically 3D layers of animation. So the gravestones are a 3D element, So it was all a challenge to just insert it all together. So of course that's getting a little bit more animated here already. We have the shot up the building. That was I think from a tutorial from Video Copilot. I really recommend that website if you want to learn After Effects. I mean, I use it as a reference quite a lot. And this shot, I'm not exactly sure that there are. I don't like the ground is 2 layers, because to show the depth is 1 layer, and then you overlay one layer, so it makes a kind of plane that you can stand on. And the river itself, I can do better. Now I know a plugin which is far better than using this. This is a default preset, if I remember correctly, in After Effects. It's some kind of just animation preset. And the logs, I'm probably sure it's just a picture. 3 pictures. I kind of cropped them and they're floating by. Well, this shot I really like. This is one of the best, definitely. So it's a street shot. We have the clock in the background. That's going to be used in a second, you'll see. And there's a little bit of camera shake there. And it's just very kind of lively. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I really like this shot. And of course, the cars passing by, that was a little bit difficult, but not too much. It's basically just a car. You crop, you cut it out. You rotoscope it, I think that's the right word. And the only difficult part was to make them stay on the road, because if you just make them go into the Z distance, which is the element of depth, they actually kind of go away from the road. So you just have to make sure that the final keyframe is on the right spot and not somewhere weird, like it crashes into a building or something. We definitely don't want the cars crashing into a building. So this shot is another one I really liked here, and that was pretty challenging. I don't even remember how exactly I did it. I think it was, I might have used many gear elements or something. And the clock actually in the background, if you look at the time going around, there's a After Effects expression there which timed it perfectly. So every time it reaches 1 hour, it takes a certain amount of time for the minutes arrow to pass by, but the next hour it's the exact same amount of minutes obviously it takes. So that's an expression. I had to calculate that. It's not too difficult, but it's a bit of math anyway.
The clock, the sound of life itself. No one really wants to die, to save the world.
So I'm not sure if there's much to say here. Feel free to chat, by the way. It's a kind of questions and answers things every time anyway. So, but yeah, the idea here was to travel from scene to scene you have to find a dynamic way to do that. So for example, we go from the rooftop, which would be near the clock mechanism. We go down into the church area, and then we go outside of the church, but it's still kind of one area. We just need to keep moving.
Wish you were born again, just for a minute, just for a minute.
It's the hand. It's the hand. Look, I'm not a good actor. I totally admit it. Voice acting I can do, but in terms of real acting, I can't. So I had to really come up with some stuff to do, and so I figured out, well, using the hand, something with the hand movement could be interesting here. So that's what I went with.
Ticking that could tear us under, the beating from a heart of stone, the loss of your divine prosperity.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened here. First of all, that kind of rotation shot of the gravestone, that's also made in Poser. It's a scene completely composed in Poser. So you basically have to render the whole animation, and then you put it into well, After Effects in this case. It was the hard shaking, but that was not too hard. Again, it's all about the little movement. I was trying to imitate the original singer when he does the tick and talk. I noticed actually now watching it that the audio is a little bit out of sync. Definitely could have done better. Well, I could do better today, of course, 10 years on.
Cause it costs to be alive, my fool. And this life that someone really gave to you, after price you pay.
So there we go to the final shot here, and basically what I did is I have a pier. That's a picture. That's just a picture. As you can see, it has actually many kind of holes in there. I honestly don't remember cutting every hole out, so it's probably a luma key. So a luma key, you can set it to key out the brightest parts. So for example, if it's bright water on the edge there, but the rest is actually quite dark, so the wood is quite dark, the luma key would cut out the bright parts, so it would just leave these holes, which I want here. The moon, of course. Well, the moon, I'm a big fan of the moon in general. I like to put the moon in stuff, in my pictures as well, in 3D art. The water here is interesting because I use the tsunami effect. And the tsunami, what it does is actually it creates artificial water in After Effects. It's a very, very good effect. And the cool thing about it is that you can also do underwater with it. So there's a preset there where you can basically control the camera level, so you can actually put the camera underground. So, I mean underwater. So if you're doing some kind of, I don't know, underwater stuff, then that's the effect for you. And of course, it adds the reflection into the water, so it's all kind of part of the package. Boom! It zooms out. We have the same shot from the beginning. Hey, everybody can see you. Anyway, so that's the music video. yeah, good stuff. Lots of After Effects work in it. Um, don't make too much noise. Plastic bags are not welcome. So, yeah, the look that you did there was pretty good. Uh, it's just we had to come up with stuff because we're not actors. I think none of us were. I think one of the guitar guys was actually a guitar player. The piano girl was, I don't know, maybe she knew how to play the piano definitely, but not as a professional. And so we had to do something. So anyway, we did that. The music video, I found, well, I went to the official forum of the band and I asked them if it was okay to post on YouTube, because of course YouTube is going to do this copyright claim thing, and they said it's okay. So there is no copyright claim on the YouTube clip at all. Let's see. I think I have time for one more, but only if it's something short. Let's not do the wheel. Let's just pick something. In a way, I want to do Nightmare because it's not my work, and that would be interesting to talk about. But Origin, that's a bit long. Okay, let's do Nightmare. Let's that will make James happy. All right, so let's switch that. Okay, I'll pause that for a second. Okay, so let's do this. Let's jump into that. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so this is a short film called Nightmare. For now, anyway, this is a film made by my friend James. So me and James worked a lot in film school. This was made already way after I left Canada, though. It was just by himself. And well, it's a short horror film. It's quite interesting. So I actually don't remember exactly what happens in it. So let's find out. Probably click on the right screen again. So, well, the first thing I have to say here, obviously, well, I'm guessing it's winter, and I actually I live in Japan, and in Japan we don't get too much snow. I think there was only one, well, okay, 2 winters where there was snow. One winter in particular where there was a lot of snow, and that was surprising. But it's very rare. This winter I'm not expecting any, because it seems that the temperatures are way higher than usual. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this type of snow falling shot with the light at night, it's almost always going to be a winner. It's just a great shot. It's easy to shoot. You got this lens flare going. It's just great. So one time when it was snowing outside, I actually I'm like, okay, I gotta get it at night. So I grabbed the camera, I went outside, and I just shot some stuff in while it was snowing. So I actually did use some of it. We'll probably see that in another day. But I just want to say that's a good. It's always a good shot, this type of thing. Hey, don't be bandits. Ah, cat's acting up as always. Always the same too. So I remember this shot. I actually wonder because obviously I know how this is done. It's just you put the camera there, you leave it there, and then later you accelerate. But just in this particular shot, I wonder how long it took. I mean, how long the sample was. So again, that was just the same shot there a while ago. Oh, it was time lapse. Oh, okay. You see, so I don't actually have time lapse in my camera, so I can't do that. I think the iPhone has it, but it's obviously iPhone quality. No matter how people want to twist the iPhone, it is not to make proper movies. It's to have fun, yeah, but come on, it's like it's a phone, a game thing. It's too many functions in the same device. So here I noticed that there was something playing on the, well, I'm not sure if it's an iPad or whatever. There was something playing, some kind of video playing, and now it's not. But I'm guessing that this shows a passage of time, because obviously now the guy is asleep, so that would make sense. This just I actually I know like people are gonna crucify me for that. Um, of course, I know who Alfred Hitchcock is. I've seen like some shots, some or like scenes from his movies, but I've never actually watched a Hitchcock film. The reason for that is I don't know. I have a really hard time watching like older things. When I say older things, it's probably past the 80s. There are some late 70s films I will watch still, but not more than that. I don't know. It's not for me. Just like superhero films are really not for me. I just don't understand what's so amazing about them. But this shot here, it reminds me of a Hitchcock film. There was this knife. I think it was also a shadow shot on the wall, and this knife coming. I think it was this shower scene or something, and it was probably a murder in the shower. Anyway, don't ask me the title. Yeah, it could be Psycho. I don't know. I know also there's a remake of Psycho. I haven't seen that either, by the way. Um, yeah, there were here, so we saw some weird shots here. I like when the dagger was slightly pushed in. There was like this reaction from the character sleeping on the couch. That was just well edited. And then of course the reveal. I mean, I kind of saw it coming when I first watched it because, well, I know James. Uh, but it's again, it's quite well edited, and I think if I'm not wrong here, I think he was using a body double initially or something, or maybe it was something else. I can't remember. And of course the other reveal. I think that was probably another person there wearing the cape. Very Silent Hill like, I have to say. Reminds me of Pyramid Head a little bit. Just this cloaked creature thing. That's pretty cool. So just a quick comment here on this shot. So in the beginning we saw a shot which was actually pointing in a different direction, and I think it's important for composition. Composition is not taught in film schools at all. When I went to film school, there was not even one class on scene, or I don't know what to say, like frame composition, I should say. So it's important to match the shots in this way. So if you go back to the beginning, you can scroll back to the beginning, you'll see that the shot is pointing into one direction, and this shot is pointing into another direction. It shows a kind of beginning and an end, which is pretty cool. It's that reveal. It's that reveal. Well, I know there might be more, so I'm looking forward to more. This is very. That's what I'm saying. This is like really indie stuff, but I like it. Definitely. Okay. Well, let me switch back here. All right. Here we go back to the original screen. So, all right. Well, that's what I want to do today. There's more stuff, as you saw on that wheel at the beginning. It's just longer, so I'm gonna do it on another day. This is just part 1 of the series. If you'd like to check out my works, please go to the Frozen Frame Productions website. There's a lot of stuff there. I keep adding stuff, but recently I'm just kind of focusing on other things, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, go check out the website. There's a lot of stuff there, indie stuff, as indie as it gets. And well, I'll see you next time. I think I might do a video tomorrow, and that will just be a regular Age of Reason news episode. So till then, farewell.